We're here to talk about winter car maintenance and driving. Some things you need to know if you're going to want to do a little bit of your own maintenance in the winter. You want to do an under hood check. Most important thing about winter driving is make sure you have antifreeze in your car. If you don't have enough antifreeze, your car, it will really damage and ruin the engine. This is where you check it. Over here there are marks on this reservoir. You'll find this in all cars. You got to be between the marks, and I think you can see there we are. This uses the red coolant. If you're unsure of what coolant to use, your manual will tell you. Also, the internet is a great resource. They will tell you what kind of coolant your particular car will use. Never remove a cap hot, even on a reservoir, because it can be under a great pressure and scalding fluids can come out and burn you. Another thing about winter driving is it is important still, even with modern electronic engine management, to warm your car up. You don't have to warm it all the way up to operating temperature, but give it a good 30, 45 seconds, maybe a minute, depending on how cold it is. You don't want to drive a cold engine. It causes excessive wear, and nothing is optimized, as far as the fuel distribution and everything. When you're under hood looking, check winter anytime, but check your belts. There should be no cuts or abrasions or frays. You can see the belt down here. This is a brand new car. And also the hoses, check for bulges, cracks, anything like that, because that will strand you, especially in the winter, because there's more stress on these components then. We're going to talk a little bit about jumping in a minute, how to safely jump a vehicle. That sometimes needs to be done in the winter. Another thing to check always is make sure you have washer fluid. It's usually denoted by this. Make sure that it's full and it has plenty of de-icer or antifreeze in it, because a frozen washer fluid won't help you at all. And in the winter, it's important to have your washers and your wipers work, because the roads really get sloppy and passing traffic will throw a lot of dirt and stuff on your windshield. And speaking of windshields, if we want to come around here, another thing you want to make sure is in good condition in the winter is your wipers. Make sure they're in good condition. Let's go ahead and pull these up. Make sure they don't have, frays or tails hanging off them. These are in good condition, has a good surface all the way up, because in the winter, again, you need these, because people will be throwing snow and ice, there's freezing rain, that sort of thing. Another thing that's crucial or important in the winter is, this is year-round too, but check your tire pressures. Check how much air is in your tires. It's especially important in winter because it's so cold. The tires they're not pliable, they get very stiff and can result in a loss of control or traction. We're going to show how we do this. You can get a gauge just about anywhere. We got about 30 pounds of air in there. That's a little low. And if you are unsure on how much air your tires should carry, every vehicle has this placard or this sticker. It's a federal, I think, mandate. Tire and loading information. It says here, these tires should have 32 PSI. Cold tire inflation pressure is 32 pounds per square inch, both front and rear. I think that's a 32, isn't it? But that sticker should be on all cars. So we're going to put a little air in this one. Not everybody has their own compressor, but your convenience stores have air for you. And it's not that hard a job. And keeping your tires inflated properly also makes them last a lot longer. They'll wear a lot longer. And if anybody that's good. As anybody has priced tires recently, this can save you a lot of money. And also it gives you more control. Okay, one other thing to inspect under your hood is your battery. Batteries are under a great deal of strain in the winter. And we have a car here that has a dead battery. We're gonna jump it. We're gonna show you how to safely jump that. But when you inspect your battery, one of the first things, a lot of times, this one does not have it, but you'll see a lot of green, bluish, crusty stuff on the terminals. That alone can cause your car not to start. It can be just enough to cause the car not to start in the winter. This one is okay. And one thing, be careful when cleaning that off. You can use baking soda and water to clean that, by the way. But if you do take these off, and on most cars you will lose all the memory in your battery and things like that. It's going to reset everything like that, so beware of that. Now the order to hook these up is you need to start with red is for the positive, and this has a plus sign. I don't think it can be visible on the video, but there's the plus sign. You have positive and negative. The first place you go is the dead battery positive. And we're gonna clip on there. Second, you go to the red one again, red for positive. We're gonna go to the charging battery. This is not a car. When you jump a car, you usually want another car to do it, and you want it running, but we have a battery here, we can do this. But again, positive to positive, red to red. Now we go to the black to negative on the jumping battery, the good battery. And when we complete the circuit, when you put the fourth clamp on, you will complete the circuit. Often there will be a spark. That's why they do not want you to put it. It's not a good idea to put it on the negative terminal, because sometimes there's hydrogen gas over the battery. It can cause an explosion. It's never happened to me. I've never seen it happen, but it did happen to a friend of mine, so I know it can happen. A battery can explode. So we're going to go to an engine ground, a good engine ground. That's a good one right there. And hopefully we'll get a car to start here. You disconnect in the same order. Ground, negative. Now you're safe. You don't have a circuit to complete. And there we go. Okay, one more thing. It's very important in wintertime to keep your gas tank at least half full or better. The reason behind this is, for example, if you, on a cold night, if you left like a small soup can full of water out, it would probably freeze solid. Whereas if you had a tank of water or a swimming pool, it's not going to freeze solid. So a small amount of gas is far more likely to freeze in your gas lines than having your tank at least half full. Keep it at least half full in the winter. I know sometimes you feel like you're filling up all the time, but it might, again, one more thing, it might keep you from getting stranded, because gasoline will freeze and that will disable your vehicle.